Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Girl Gone Crypto. I am very excited. I've been following Money on Chain for a long time, so I'm very excited to have Max Cajurzaa, the co-founder, here on the channel just to chat about everything that you guys have been building. So Max, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Leah, for inviting me.
So I'm just excited, especially to have a Bitcoin project, here on the channel. I think that there's a lot of really exciting development and things happening in the Bitcoin ecosystem right now, and what you guys are doing has really, in a lot of ways, helped to lead that charge. And so, just to kind of kick things off, can you give us a high-level overview of what Money on Chain is, and then we'll kind of dive into the different aspects of it from there?
Yes, basically, Money on Chain is a stablecoin protocol that enables to bootstrap the DeFi ecosystem on top of Bitcoin.
Mhm. All right. Well, there's a lot to unpack within that, and so walk us through. So you guys have a stable coin, but then there's a whole kind of spectrum of different things that you guys offer and that you guys do. And so we've got the DOC, the Bitcoin stablecoin, B Pro, BTCX. There's a lot of different pieces of this whole ecosystem. So maybe just kind of walk us through all of the different aspects of that.
Yes, of course. Our stablecoin protocol works different than the other ones. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, what we did is we said, well, there are different kind of people in the ecosystem. So there is people that needs a stable coin, and for those needing a stable coin, we created the dollar on chain, that is a stable coin pegged to the US dollar.
Mm-hmm.
And the peg is guaranteed by the smart contract. You don't need to depend on a secondary market.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to lock a huge amount of Bitcoin to issue the dollar on chain. If you need $100 of dollar on chain, you just send $100 of Bitcoin to the protocol, and the protocol send you the $100 of dollar on chain. Then we have the BPRO token. That is the token that we like more as Bitcoiners, because the BPRO token is a liquidity token that makes the protocol works. So people adding collateral to the system or to the protocol and holding the BPRO has a lot of benefits. For example, they earn some of the platform fees. They earn some interest that is paid by a third actor that I will talk about later. They earn MOC token, that is the governance token. And on top of all that, they have a little bit of free leverage. What that means, free leverage? Well, that when the price of Bitcoin goes up, the BitPro goes up a little bit higher. And of course, when the price of Bitcoin goes down, the BitPro can go a little bit lower. But in the last year, the BitPro has earned like 26% in Bitcoin. So
Mm-hmm.
we love the BitPro. And then we have this other token that is not actually a token, but it works like a token. That is the BTCX. The BTCX is a 2x long position on the price of Bitcoins. That means that when I'm holding BTCX, if the price of Bitcoin goes up, the BTCX goes like the double. If the price
Mm-hmm.
of Bitcoin goes down, it goes up $1, the BTCX goes up $2. And when the price of Bitcoin goes down $1, the BTCX goes down $2.
Right. Goes both
And then
ways.
we have a fourth token. Yes, it's like complicated to tell that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have a fourth token that is the MOC token. The MOC token is a governance token to allow us to improve the platform and vote and veto on improvement proposals.
Mm-hmm.
And the MOC token earns like 80% of the fees that the protocol collects.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, we are bootstrapping a decentralized oracles protocol, and we are bootstrapping this in the following weeks, probably 2 to 3 weeks. And on top of that, we have also a decentralized exchange. So it's a very complete protocol with a
Right.
lot of pieces, and we have been working for many, many time building this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when was Money on Chain founded? You guys have been around for a long time.
Money Chain was founded in uh, mid 2018,
Mm-hmm.
and we start the Stablecoin protocol on December 2019.
So, in general, obviously, the topic of DeFi is a massive topic within the crypto space. A lot of that conversation has been focused more on Ethereum and even more, more recently, the Binance Smart Chain and different chains. And so, I'm really excited to see is so much forward momentum on creating DeFi tools for the Bitcoin ecosystem. And so, I've noticed that you guys seem to work very closely with like RSK and Sovereign. And so, I'd love to hear a little bit about how those kind of partnerships all work and what kind of tools people might be seeing soon coming to the Bitcoin DeFi ecosystem.
Well, people will be able to do on top of RSK using Bitcoin almost everything they do in another chain
Mm-hmm.
because it's software. So if another chain discovers something great, of course RSK can implement it or Bitcoin can implement it.
Mm-hmm.
So we have launched this stablecoin protocol that is unique in the whole crypto world because all the solution is self-contained in smart contract, and there is no fiat currency backing this, and there is no gold, no properties. The only thing that we use as collateral is just Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
On top of this, Sovereign is making a great platform for people to lend and borrow these tokens, and there is a couple of other projects launching on RSK as we speak. The Tropicus is another lending platform that is coming. RSK Swap is already running on RSK. It's like Uniswap.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, whatever you do today with other coins, you will be able to do it with Bitcoin.
So, one thing I want to dive into a little bit more is this whole idea of a Bitcoin collateralized stable coin. And so, I mean, from my perspective, it really does truly seem like Bitcoin has separated itself, in terms of becoming its almost its own asset class compared to everything else. We were seeing all of these big companies added to their balance sheet. We're seeing there's a lot of people that are like kind of exclusively using Bitcoin. And so I think that I would just love to hear your thoughts, I mean, on what role that kind of plays in the Bitcoin ecosystem. Is having a Bitcoin collateralized stablecoin like make it easier for payments and transactions, or what kind of role does this play in the overall adoption of Bitcoin?
Well, the project is very young so far.
Mm-hmm.
I told you that we deployed in December 2019, but the reality is through decentralization with MOC token is since 1 or 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So the protocol is very young. But in Argentina, people is using, for example, dollar and chain to save their money because in Argentina you are not allowed. Sorry,
It's okay.
um, I think the supermarket is here.
Right.
Uh, my wife will take care. Um, so in Argentina, people is using dollar and chain instead of dollar because the government doesn't allow you to buy dollars, and there are companies um, putting dollar and chain in the balance sheets in Argentina.
Mm.
I think that when these protocols grows and gain some adoptions, we are going to see some companies having BitPro instead of Bitcoin in the balance sheet because they
Mm.
are going to have their Bitcoins in the balance sheet and they are going to be earning money in their Bitcoins.
Mm. Mm-hmm. So, just in general, I would love to kind of hear your thoughts as kind of a leader within the Bitcoin community. Obviously, we talk about balance sheets, and you're talking about Argentina. Like a lot of companies have been adding dollar on chain. We've been seeing here in the U.S. We got Tesla, we've got Michael Saylor. Like, what are your thoughts on kind of that segment of adoption? Like, do you think that we're just at the very beginning of seeing companies adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet? sheet, or what do you think
Oh,
kind of the next few years could look like on that landscape?
oh, yes, of course. This is just the beginning. Absolutely, this is just the beginning. We have probably 1% or at most 2% of the population using Bitcoin.
Hmm.
We and companies adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets is it's very early for that.
Hmm.
That trend will definitely continue and grow, of course. And we're going to see governments holding Bitcoins in a few years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's who knows, maybe some of them are already stacking and they just haven't told us yet. So, one thing that I wanted to dive into a little more as well is the governance kind of token side of things. Because I know when you guys originally launched, you were a little bit like there were some centralization components and you've been working to get further away, to be more decentralized. And so walk us through the governance structure and how that kind of works in the ecosystem.
Okay, basically we have this MOC token that is the governance token that if you stake this MOC token, it allows you to earn the platform fee. There is like 40% of the tokens that will be minted in very long time, and those tokens goes directly to the MOC token staked.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you are staking your tokens, you can vote on the upgrade. So the platform cannot be upgraded if MOC token holders agree on that upgrade. So we didn't use already developed governance protocol. We developed our own governance protocol, paying specific attention to incentives and typical governance problem. For
Right.
example, that the founders foundation and early investors has no enough power to make a malicious attack on the protocol, but they have enough power to protect the protocol.
Mm-hmm.
So more or less like Bitcoin, even though Bitcoin hasn't have a governance token, but the Bitcoin itself.
So, I'd love to hear a little bit more about what the team is currently working on, what they're excited about, what people can expect to come next from Money on Chain.
Okay, well, we finished our first version of the whole protocol, governance, what we call mock flow is that gives value to the MOC token, exchange, decentralized protocol, oracles, etc. And now we are going to focus in usability. The protocol is
Mm-hmm.
kind of difficult to use today because
Right.
maybe it's not so easy to convert your BTC to RBTC. So we
Right.
are going to work in UX UI in the next month.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So, Max, if someone's watching this and they want to check out Money on Chain and continue learning more about you guys and get involved in the MOC ecosystem, where's the next best place for them to go after watching this video?
Oh, they can go to our page, www.moneyonchain.com, and then you have a community page where you have the Telegram, Discord, blog, forum, Twitter, etc. there. Please join us, our Telegram. You can ask whatever you want there.
Perfect. Well, I will leave links to all of that below. So if anyone's watching this video, go ahead and just find those in the description box so you can quickly pop over and get plugged in with you guys. So, Max, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show today and really break down Money on Chain and what you guys are doing. There's obviously, like we talked about today, so many different components of what you guys are building. And so I really appreciate you taking the time to take us through all of that.
Thank you for having me here.